Hi, everyone in the YouTube world and beyond. I am Renee. I am the owner and founder of High Class Pineapple, and I am joined today by Duncan Delano. He is a cannabis attorney, and I will let him kind of talk to you about his experience, but we're going to have a great chat today talking about the cannabis space in New Jersey specifically, and what entrepreneurs and business people who are looking to get into the cannabis space can really expect to see.
So yeah, my name is Duncan Delano. I'm a cannabis and real estate attorney with Emerge Law Group. We're a full service business firm servicing the cannabis industry for over 7 years.
First question that I got, which I'm going to share with you, is how can someone transition from an unregulated operation, so the legacy market, to a legal one?
Yeah, that's a great question. The good news is that the law in New Jersey and in New York as well is designed to facilitate folks coming from the traditional unregulated market into the legal market. So whereas some of the states in the past that went through this, grappled with having people with prior convictions apply for licenses, not only does New Jersey not penalize you for having any prior history in the traditional market or convictions, you actually might benefit from past marijuana convictions. That will give you a leg up in the application process. As part of, again, this is designed to bring people from the traditional market into the legal market so they can participate.
What are some ways that someone can prepare their cannabis business for compliance?
Yeah, well, so I'm a lawyer and I enjoy reading regulations, but I've been telling both my clients and people in the industry to read the regulations themselves. The Cannabis Regulatory Commission, which is the agency that regulates the new cannabis market in New Jersey, CRC for short, they have the full set of rules on their website, as well as a summary. And the full set of rules is a 160-page PDF, but you don't need to read that whole thing. Just skip ahead to page 50 if you're going for a conditional license. And if you're going for a full license, skip ahead to page 61. So it's a little cheat sheet for you. Just read that portion of the regs that lays out what an application will look like, what you need to submit, and how they'll rank the application. So even though you'll be consulting with experts, most likely, get familiar with the regulations yourself.
What are the different types of cannabis licenses? And then how do you, for each license, how do you increase your chances of getting awarded that license?
There's 6 categories of license, or classes of license, they call them. Class 1 is a cultivator license. Class 2 is a manufacturer license, so taking the product and making tinctures and oils and anything else like that. Distributor is the class 3 wholesaler is the class 3 license. Distributor is class 4, retailer is class 5, and delivery is class 6. And then within those classes, you can have either a conditional license or a full license. And a conditional license is sort of a provisional license that allows you to operate, get going, and then convert. You need to convert to a full license within 120 days. And the benefit of going for a conditional license is you do not need to demonstrate control over your site. So you don't even have to have a site picked out. Of course, 120 days is a short time to do that in. So you already want to be pretty close to, having a site picked out, but you don't have to have it as part of your initial application. And you also don't have to have approval from your local municipality. That can come within that 120-day period. And to apply for a conditional license, you have to meet certain standards. You have to have been a resident here in New Jersey and meet certain income thresholds. So conditional license not available for everyone, but it's a great option for some of the smaller businesses that are just trying to get their foot in the door and maybe don't have a lot of capital up front. There's also something called a micro business license, which can be any category of those 6 classes that I mentioned. But that is just for small businesses where you can have no more than 10 employees. You can your space has to be 2,500, no bigger than 2,500 square feet. And you can only grow or process 1,000 plants or pounds of cannabis a month. And so if you can stick to those size guidelines, you qualify for a micro business, and they give priority to micro businesses, and there's no cap on the number of micro business licenses they'll be giving out.
For someone who is an entrepreneur who's brand new to this, who might be looking at like a smaller license, or even a larger full license, like how do you know how much capital you actually need?
That's a great question, and probably the most important question for entrepreneurs, right? So in our experience, cannabis businesses in other states have gotten up and running for somewhere between $250,000 and $2 million, depending on, there's so many factors. Obviously, an indoor fancy grow operation with all the state-of-the-art equipment, or a fancy cannabis processing facility with that expensive equipment, that's going to be a lot more expensive on the front end than say a delivery business can be started for a lot less capital. But New Jersey is very aware of the barriers to entry on the funding side, and as a result, really listen to constituents when setting up their license application fees. And the other thing to remember is that you don't necessarily need all that capital all at once. You're sort of trying to get through each stage, with the first stage really being putting your team together and applying for the license. The first source is friends and family. So just, and investors actually like to see that friends and family have invested with you, because they know that they see that someone else has been willing to, put their money on the line because they believe in your business. So, it's tapping your networks to the extent you have them, and seeing what other funding sources there might be.
Hit up the people first, and then if they vouch for you, then you can get some other people on your side.
Right. And, like bank loans are tough. Hopefully the Safe Banking Act gets passed and banks will start lending to cannabis businesses a little bit more and with lower rates. But right now, private investment is the best way to get capitalized.
So what advice would you give to someone who has years of corporate or private experience and they're looking to break into the cannabis industry? So they're brand new to the industry. It's very attractive to them. What advice would you give to them?
A lot of trainings right now are free because there's service providers out there, lawyers, consultants, accountants who, are trying to drum up business, and so are giving out free lessons on how everything works in the hopes you might use them in the future. So take advantage of those. There's some great programs that I've seen. I
don't know any other industry where lawyers give things out for free. So that is exciting.
Exactly. And then meet people, which is even more important. Especially right now, there's so much excitement about this new legal industry opening up, and there's tons of events and networking opportunities.
Is there anything else that you want to share with entrepreneurs who are just trying to figure this whole thing out, and I guess your number one piece of advice?
The top 2 things I tell people looking at putting together an application right now are finding a location and and meeting your local decision makers. The other thing is, these are applications that are going to get scored through a point system. So you want to just get as many points as you can. That's the name of the game.
How do people get in touch with you so that you can help them get their business started and off the ground?
Well, I'm very reachable. You can email me at duncan@emergelawgroup.com. You can find me on Instagram as the Jersey Pot Lawyer. I'm on LinkedIn, Duncan Delano.
I think a lot of people are going to reach out.
Thanks so much for organizing this, for putting it together. Like, this was brilliant. I love it.